Hello, my name's Adam Kultangwatana. I am a linguistics major here at Normandale. I was born and raised in Thailand for 16 years. My dad came here, I think around 1979, if I was correct. I think he came here when he was 16, as a matter of fact. It was a real culture shock for him because, well, this was, like the late 70s and early 80s, fitting in like a new world, a whole complete different environment that he had to force himself to get used to without knowing how to. I think that was the story, how it really inspired me, that my dad had to face a lot of hardship. So my journey is somewhat similar to my dad's. I found myself in Bloomington, went to both high schools in the city, and then just found myself here at Normandale. It was very hard my first year at Normandale. It was a whole new environment for me, and I just felt like it just, I'm not going to be here for long. When I was a freshman, it's just 2 years, like why should I reach out to people? I couldn't really figure out what I really wanted to do for myself. Just, having fingers pointing at, like things, this is what you should do, and this is, rights for you, this will benefit your career or your future. I started as an engineering major, switched to psychology, switched to astronomy, and then switched back to engineering. So I was all over the place just trying to know myself. I was struggling, but I really hated myself for not admitting it. I just thought that I had everything figured out without knowing that I had nothing figured out. Then next thing I knew, I was suspended from Normandale, which was very hard. And it was very surprising that a school is suspending students for a whole year. I just didn't even know what I could do. And having to lie to my parents, it's gonna be hard on them if I were to tell them that I'm suspended. So I kept it for them I think for 2 years. It really hurt me that I just gotta put on a mask, knowing that I'll be at school, but I'm not in class because I'm suspended. If I were to get back to school or getting myself back, to classes, I would have to change myself in a lot of ways. I have to be more diligent. I have to be more creative in terms of being organized. Walking through the entrance, I would just make a promise to myself that if I ever have a chance to getting back to classes, I would never once fail it. I would at least just put in all of my effort just to make sure that I did all I could, even if it didn't work. But I just know that I put in all of my hard work and all that. To have my suspension lifted, it was a long process. I decided to write a paper, an appeal paper. I just decided to contact the Dean of Student, Jason Cardinal, and he did whatever he could to get me back, and there I was. I was back in Normandale, but still my cumulative grades weren't as high enough, so I was put on probation still. I felt like I was back to square one. I cried because I just did not know, if I'm gonna do well or not. I guess that really pushed me coming out of my shell, reaching out to people, going to the tutoring center for the first time, knowing that when I started, my first year at Normandale, I walked past the tutoring center every day, and now here I am just asking for help. And I never knew that, people are so cool here. They're so helpful, giving someone encouragement to carry on for what they're doing, whether they're failing or not. Knowing that I failed before, and it really touched me in a way that it inspired me to do good at Normandale. That was the changing point of my time at Normandale. Next thing I knew, I had really good grades. I found myself in a Japanese class very surprising that I wanted to know or to learn about languages. It completely changed how I see like people around me. Languages are so important in terms of connecting people to people. And that is the reason why I wanted to switch my major to linguistics. I finished 2 years. I had a 4.0. Very, very surprising. And people really perceived me as a successful, individual, but really I'm not. It just, at first I was really nervous, afraid a lot of rejection. If I'm not smart enough to be in this room. I failed so many times here. And I'm sure I will fail many times more, but I learned through my failure. There are so many people that really helped me out, shaping me as a person. You could have a lot of resources here without knowing, and you could get a lot of help. This is a great place for you to be, as long as you open up. I'm going to the the University of Minnesota. I am graduating this semester, sadly. It's home for me, Normandale. It will always have a special place in my heart, and it will always be my home. I will be a linguistics major at the U, and for my career, I really hope that I could use my ability in terms of using languages and connecting people in criminal justice to help solve crimes and to connect people or translate. So I think by doing that, in a way, I think I'm doing good for our country. I just really want to use my knowledge just to help people, and to help out our state, our community, our country in a better way.